Now let's look at all the basic fields and how they function. First is the text field. We'll call this one name. You can decide if a field is required or not. If it is required, then the first person who can edit it must enter a value before they can submit it. Then you have an option to save, or look at more options. In the advanced options, you see the field ID. This is the way the system identifies the field, and you can use it later. The default value puts a placeholder in the field to help your user, and the help text helps them to know how to fill out the form. For example, we'll say enter your name. We'll deal with this question, is this a computed field, in a different video. You can set the maximum number of characters to any amount you wish. You can also apply a validation. You can choose between alphanumeric, where there's no special characters allowed, numeric for only numbers, or an email address. When you're done, click Save. Let's call the next field Project Brief. This will be a text area. A text area works just like a text field, except it has a larger input area. Here, all your advanced options are the same, but you might want to increase the maximum number of characters. We'll change it to 500. Next, we'll look at the number field. We'll call this field Employee ID. In the number field, the user is limited to only digits. You can also restrict the number of decimal places. You have a lot more options when it comes to validating the data as well. For example, we'll say this should be a value greater than 1001. Now we'll look at the currency field. We'll call this field Value of Project. The currency field works just like the number field, except it's going to have a currency sign. Your currency is configured automatically based on the location set up by your admin. Next, we'll look at a date field. We'll call this field Project Start Date. In the date field, a calendar will show up for the user. Your validations have changed as well. We'll choose in the future for this one. Next, we'll add a date and time field. We'll call it Initial Meeting Time. This field looks just like the date field, except for the user will have an option to set the time as well. Next, we'll add a yes/no field. Here we'll ask the question, should Bruce attend? In the yes/no field, it's helpful to put a default value as either yes or no. Next, we'll add an attachment field. We'll call it Meeting Notes. Here, users will be given a dialog to attach a document. Now, let's add a user field. The user field will automatically bring up a list of all the users in your Kissflow account, like a drop-down menu. Finally, we'll add a master field. When you use the masters field, you are referring to a set of data that is used by multiple apps. Just pick which master you are referring to and which column. See the entire masters video series to know how to use masters. Now let's see what it looks like for users in real time. I'll initiate a new item from Lucius Fox. We'll say this project is scoping out a new Learjet design. Employee ID will put 2. The value of the project is $50 million. Project start date should be on February 12th. And we'll set an initial meeting for February 10th at 2 p.m. I want Bruce to attend this meeting, and I'll attach my meeting notes through Google Docs. When I hit submit, I get an error message, because in my employee ID, it says the value must be greater than 1001 due to a validation we set up. I hit submit, and it goes through. That's how basic form building works.